mince pie nightmares of several generations ago were sure to have for their most terrifying bogey a cannibal king, and the most hair-raising tales in the old sea captain's kit of stories was the yarn from the Cannibal Isles. The Dutch navigator Tasman and the intrepid Captain Cook both sighted the Cannibal Isles, but it was not until the early part of the 19th century that a party of ex-convicts from Australia settled among the natives. These were followed by a group of traders, and in 1874 the Fijian chiefs formally ceded their islands to Great Britain. Today one must go inland to find traces of the old Fiji, of the savages whose appearance struck such terror in the souls of the early traders. The villages consist of a few houses woven of grass and topped with thatched roofs. Here the natives still indulge in what is practically their only form of amusement, the meki-meki. The fact that their grandfathers were among the most ravenous cannibals in the history of the world is, we suspect, a source of secret pride. Proud, too, they are of the enormous mops of bush-like hair that form such savage auras for their brown faces. Various conflicting theories have been advanced by scientists in explanation of the origin of cannibalism. Some are of the opinion that it rose from a belief in the savage mind that in eating an enemy, his desirable qualities were acquired by the consumer. Others that revenge was the chief reason for the first indulgence of human flesh, that the mere killing of an enemy was not considered to be a sufficient satisfaction, but by eating him, he and all his family were indelibly disgraced. As a race, they have traveled far along the path of development during the 59 years they have been under British rule. War, cannibalism, polygamy, and all their attendant evils are but memories of the dark past from which they have emerged. Today, a native policeman clad in a white sulu and basque-like jacket of navy blue with bayonet fixed guards the entrance to the government house. Perhaps one of the most remarkable achievements of the white countries which have colonized the earth is the manner in which they have utilized the military services of the natives, so that they can entrust them with the very guns which were formerly used to conquer them. On special occasions, the bushy-haired members of the Fijian military band button themselves into their uniforms and play the white man's music on instruments that are no longer strange to them. Pretty good for these grandsons of cannibals, only 2 generations removed. The journey leads us over a beautiful sea, a distance of 645 miles, to Samoa, an enchanting group of islands belonging to the United States and the British Empire. We arrive in the harbor of APIA, which is known in the South Seas as the graveyard of the Pacific, because of the numerous wrecks that have occurred in its treacherous waters. About a quarter of a mile from shore lies the skeleton of the last ship that went down in this cemetery of the 7 seas. The last 4 years of Robert Louis Stevenson's life were spent in Samoa, in circumstances of such health and vigor as he had never previously enjoyed. Within this house he played host to the whole of the South Seas. The natives loved him dearly, and after his death carried his body to the spot where he longed to lie, thereby fulfilling the words of his own epitaph. Under the wide and starry sky, dig the grave and let me lie. Glad did I live and gladly die, and I laid me down with a will. This be the verse you grave for me. Here he lies where he longed to be. Home is the sailor, home from the sea, and the hunter, home from the hill. A Samoan village is made up of some 30 or 40 households. The houses are mere circles of pillars, roofed by cones of thatch. Privacy is impossible. Chief or child or young girl dwells habitually in a house that all the other members of the household must occupy alike. To the Samoans, birth and sex and death are the natural, inevitable structure of existence, an existence in which they expect their children to share. No child must conceal its knowledge of life for fear of punishment. Samoa knows but one way of living and teaches it to her children. Tattooing, or the practice of decorating the skin by puncturing it and introducing a coloring matter, is a Polynesian word, and it is here in Samoa that the art reached its highest perfection. Samoa is one of the few places in the world still unspoiled by white civilization. Dancing and singing is their natural heritage. Crowds gather often for the Siva Siva. Flowers adorn their necks and wrists and ankles, and music fills the air. The background which makes living in Samoa so simple a matter is the casualness of the whole society. Neither poverty nor wealth threaten the people, nor do they hold their lives dearly and tremble for continued existence. No implacable God, swift to anger and strong to punish, disturb the even tenor of their days. Perhaps the loveliest maiden in all Samoa is the daughter of the High Chief, the beautiful princess. The High Chief guards his daughter as he guards the honor of his name. A few short years ago, his title would have been King of Samoa, but today he is High Chief and a subject of the British Empire. He and the princess, his wife, are the purest and most distinguished type of Polynesian. They represent the highest culture that civilization has achieved in a land that was once the stronghold of cannibalism. And it is with this thought that we say farewell to the Cannibal Isle.